Welcome. In today's video, I'll be demonstrating how the new electronic voting clickers will work for voting on amendments and resolutions at the annual meeting. The voting system we are using is provided by Meridia Interactive Solutions. It is a very robust, secure, and reliable system which is used by many labor unions, municipalities, the U.S. House of Representatives, and 95% of America's Fortune 500 companies. The system is completely self-contained and does not require a network or internet connection. It uses its own secure radio receiver to record votes cast by only the clickers registered to the system. Each clicker is assigned to a voting club, and the system will save a permanent record of how each club votes. Your clicker will include a label on the back with the club's name so that you will know which one represents the club you are voting for. This is important if you are representing two clubs. The clicker is simple and easy to use and consists of a total of 6 buttons and a small LCD screen. You can wake the clicker at any time by pressing any of the buttons. There is no on or off button. Only when voting is open will the clicker's activity be recorded. In the top left corner of the clicker display is a signal strength indicator. This means the clicker is receiving the base station signal, which is connected to the computer handling the voting. When voting is open, you will see a small blinking R at the top of the screen. This means the receiver is ready to record your vote. For voting purposes, we will only be using the A and B buttons for voting yes and no respectively. The paper airplane button, C, D, and E buttons are used for other types of situations that don't apply for our use. After pressing the A or B buttons, you will see an OK appear on the display. This means the computer has received your vote. Before the start of Friday's meeting, we will use the clickers for some fun practice votes to get you familiar with the system and confirm they are working properly. So be sure to arrive early to participate. Let's now look at how voting will look on the big screens at the front of the room, and we will demonstrate how to cast a vote. For this demonstration, we have the screen set to black and white so that the text is more visible in this video. At the annual, you will see the display in color. At the top of the screen is information about the vote setup and voting status. Starting at the left, we see Rule. That shows that the current vote requires a 2/3 majority to pass. All voting will be based on a 2/3 majority. However, show rule resolutions that receive yes votes over 50% will be passed on to the board for consideration. Next is Display, where raw absolute means we will be displaying the actual numbers of votes of yeses and nos. Next is Result, which will display one of 3 messages. None, indicating the vote is not open, in progress, when voting is opened, and once the vote is closed, either passed or failed will display. Finally, we have Status. This shows if voting is open, meaning you can cast your vote, or closed, meaning voting has either not yet started or just ended. At the top right, we have a brief description of the proposed amendment or resolution. Along the top left is a display of the overall total votes and the totals for yes and no votes. Please note that only the total number will change while voting is open. The total yes and no votes will only display after voting closes. This is to keep voting from being influenced by how others are voting while voting is open. The remainder of the screen is a grid of blocks that represent each clicker. These will change color when a vote is received, but will not indicate how that clicker voted until after the vote is closed. I will now demonstrate the voting process so that you can see what appears on both the clicker display and big screens. At the top right, you will see the status is currently closed. After discussions have been completed, the President will then open the vote. With voting open, result will change to in progress, and the status will change to open. Now that voting is open, you will see a small blinking R on your clicker's display. This means the receiver is ready to record your vote. It's now time to cast our vote. Press A for yes or B for no. After pushing A or B, your display will indicate a number 1 for yes or 2 for no. It will not display A or B. Shortly after pressing A or B, your display will indicate an OK. This means the system has received your vote. Please note that as long as the vote is open, you may change your vote. Simply press the appropriate button and watch for the OK confirmation on your clicker screen. Only when the vote is finally closed will your response be locked in and recorded. Remember, during voting, the projector screens will only show an increase in the total as the delegates cast their votes. The numbers of yes and no will only appear after the vote is closed. Now that we have cast our votes, we will close voting. As soon as voting is closed, the system will display the totals of yes and no, and if the vote has passed or failed. Here we can see the proposal has passed. Let's do another one where the proposal fails. We bring up the proposal and open the vote. We will cast our no vote and watch for the OK confirmation. With our votes cast, we will close the vote. And here we see the result failed. This process will be used for all voting, including resolutions from the floor. This concludes the demonstration. If you have any questions, please email the address at the end of the video. We look forward to seeing you at this year's annual. Thank you and have a great day.